it's going live now. It takes about a few seconds to go live. There we go. I'm now live. There's no one on. What are we doing? You were going to educate me in the world of all these drama people, weren't you? Ooh, that's janky. Jankalicious. There you go. You got a VR. Was that you? So you were telling me, was it Gabby Hanna? Is that a good thing?
I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my shit. Right. If a YouTuber with less than 100 subscribers is getting shit like this on Twitter for posting a video about Gabby Hanna, how many fucking people, like, it's not a surprise they don't ever do anything in her defense. Like, I don't even have 100 subscribers and people are having a go at me saying that I'm defending someone for this action, that action, that action. And I'm like, I don't defend any of that fucking action.
So this is about toxic fandom then?
Oh, it's Aesthetic Derp. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How are you? Miscommunicating a bit. Like,
It's too much.
No, it's not.
So you went on. Let's tell Aesthetic Derp about it. You went on Twitter.
I went on Twitter.
And you
got drunk.
And you're getting drunk anyway. But you went on Twitter and you were defending your video because somebody took it as a take on you. Without watching the video, they made the assumption that you were attacking drama channels.
I kind of was.
Okay, so...
No, I was trying to say that drama channels should be held accountable the same way that they hold other channels accountable. The problem with it... So sweet.
5 minutes of makeup. Normal time, 90 hours. 5 minutes of makeup. Or is it my hair? Yeah, my hair's amazing. This is called the lockdown special.
No, what's under here is the lockdown special.
That is the lockdown special. Mine is the 3 years in progress.
Okay, my thing is, right. So I share my Gabby Hanna video, which Gabby Hanna likes and responds to.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing it and I'm dropping it here and there because it's genuinely relevant. And then someone says, oh, you're saying X, Y, or Z. And I'm like, no, I don't say any of that in my video. That's not what my video is about at all. My video is actually kind of using Gabby Hanna as an example of a bigger societal issue, which is that tea gets to a point when it's not tea anymore.
Well, tea doesn't have to be accountable for itself, does it?
Exactly.
Tea is just let's bash a celebrity and kick a celebrity until they crack.
Yeah, but the other question is, if someone decides to attack you for releasing a video, but they say, I absolutely refuse to watch your video, I haven't watched your video, I'm not going to watch your video, deal with it. Why should I be giving them my time and try to consistently defend myself against someone who's like, I'm not watching your video, I'm just going to attack you for like days on end until you reply?
I think that you have to have the challenge of accountability by platform, haven't you? Because a lot of people will think, oh, I know you on Twitter, I know what you're about on this platform, I know you on Instagram, I know what you're about on this platform, I know what you do in these various different things, and that is how I will interact with you because I've seen what you've said on Twitter. It's the only platform I know you on.
No, but this person has one follower, like, and no pictures. Like, I genuinely thought it was just a troll account at first, so I kind of just ignored it, and then they kept pushing me, so they could still be a troll account.
They could still be a troll,
but I don't think they are. And they've sent me this. And the problem that I have with looking at shit like this is is this real or is this photoshopped?
Well, you have to read it out because, you know,
okay, this tweet says it's from
one lovely viewer has not got a clue what you're talking about.
It's from Gabby Hannah, and she says, and predatory, but that's kind of her thing. Let's all not forget about the time she, as an adult, sexually pressured a fan in high school after he expressed discomfort. That's abuse of power if I've ever seen it. It links to Peyton Saxon's Twitter account, and it's about Jessie.
And it's Gabby Hannah tweet.
And it's a Gabby Hannah tweet, supposedly.
Is it a real Gabby Hannah
until
tweet?
Someone can provide me with a link to this tweet, I can't really just be like, yeah, I agree, because there's been loads of people that have been like, I've gone
Photoshop's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, there's people that go like way back in time and they're like, I found this tweet from like 10 years ago, but they for some reason decide to show a picture instead of actually just like linking the tweet, right?
Yes, we can do whatever we want because we're behind the screen. I don't mean us, but I mean, yes, you're right. It people do feel the power of an anonymity.
Yeah, and that's kind of what that video is about, and kind of what all of like the This Is Not Tea videos are about. Is like it's like the Jenna Marbles thing, right?
This is the
you did make sense.
You did make sense. It's me who doesn't make sense often. Don't worry about it. But yeah, the Jenna Marbles thing. So I only recently heard about Jenna Marbles because I am a software engineer, not a YouTube.
He makes the internet. He doesn't use it.
I don't really make the internet. You know, I make parts of the internet every now and then when it needs a bit of a kick to get it better. I don't really make it better, but yeah, I make the internet. That's what I do. It's my
anyway. No, the Jenna Marbles thing, right? So she's like...
I only heard that she's a YouTuber. Like, you know, I'm adorable. I don't do the internet.
No, but the Jenna Marbles thing. So she's apologized for problematic videos from 10 years ago and basically said, bye, I'm out.
Because 10 years ago, we didn't really have, you know, massive hordes of teenagers who could bully us on the internet because they didn't have the mobile phones. Well, it's true, right?
I don't endorse this person, but...
My presence is not an endorsement.
But the thing is then, you know, people are talking about it and they're talking about it with Shane as well. That's a slightly different issue, but like with Jenna Marbles, and people are being like, you know, if she's got problematic tweets, and then certain people are being like, oh, well, you know, if you watched anyone that was creating content on YouTube in the early 2010s, then you'll know that they have problematic content, to which I'm kind of like, or does that not mean that societal norms have changed a lot in the last 10 years?
I'm loving that everyone now is apologising for shit they did 10 years ago. I think that's great, you know.
No, but they shouldn't have to.
Everyone should apologise for everything they did 10 years ago because you wouldn't have known better.
What did I do 10 years ago?
You were 10 years younger, you know. I mean, when was that? That was like when YouTube was just starting, really. I mean, yes, I had an account, but like I didn't use it.
No. It wasn't the same as it is now.
No, it's not. It was a new technology. It was like, look, wow, this is amazing. I can spend 14 hours downloading a half-hour video because my bandwidth goes.
I don't know.
Well, okay, so if you were lucky in 2010, you may have had a 256K baud modem, which is pretty fast for the time. Fair enough.
Yes.
This
is where I was going with that. Is that people like Jenna are having to apologize for shit that they did 10 years ago. Societal norms clearly have changed. Like, you can look at the movies that came out in the 2010s. Everyone's talking about, what is it? The one with Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr. And Robert Downey Jr. does blackface in a Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, there are a lot of movies that people are dragging up the past and saying actors should have been responsible, actors should have been accountable.
But I think the point is that in quarantine,
The reality is actors are responsible and accountable because they have lawyers and stuff who are like, oh, we think we can get away with this, and they do.
No, that's not how it works.
And there's a board of, like, the British Board of Film and
okay, here's a question. I hate that I'm about to say this. Don't take this out of context, please.
Take it out of context.
So when
That's what people do.
I was a gymnast. I was a pretty good gymnast, and I did my back in.
Modest here, Olympic trainee.
And I did my back in, and then I sidestepped into musical theatre, and then I went to drama school. I did musicals for a while, and then my back got really bad, so I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. But when I was about six, I just started gymnastics. And my gymnastics club decided that we did this like yearly sort of like festival thing. And we were doing the Jungle Book. And they decided to cast me as Mowgli.
I think you need to write an apology about that.
Yeah, so do I.
Publicly, yeah. Get your apology out there.
They painted my skin brown.
Wow, that's racially insensitive.
And I danced.
Dancing? Is
the
that
Jungle
cultural
Book.
reappropriation?
I was 6 years old.
It doesn't matter. Should be accountable for that.
Do I need to make a public statement apologizing for the fact that I was 6? And at the time in which I was 6, the internet barely existed. So there's no proof of this anywhere. You will not find it. I can almost guarantee you will not find it. Watch them go and find it now.
That would be impressive.
But yeah, I didn't even really understand the context of them face painting me. I was told, go over there and get your makeup done.
Yeah.
So I went over there to get my makeup done. And that's what happened. And yes, okay, we can take the stance that I was 6.
Well,
right?
Okay,
no one expects a 6-year-old to particularly know what they're doing.
Let's upgrade you to 16 then. You know, if you were 16 and the same thing had happened because of the fact that you were in, gymnastics, which is a performance sport, and then you went into musical theatre, which is also a performance, if you had been given a role of like a character who is some ethnicity that you're not, you as an actor then have to portray that character, don't you?
Well, that's the interesting. I mean, let's go crazy in this. Should we start saying that? Oh, hello or hello.
Hello.
Should we say?
That's what you say for the T, right?
Yeah. Should we say that any actor that was in Cats was playing a cat and they're not a cat, so they should apologize because they played a cat and they're not a cat?
That's a major speciesist issue.
I agree with aesthetic derp that people are bored in quarantine and they just don't really know what to do with it. So they're just being like, we've got hours. Let's go and look through someone's like 10-year library of content that they have that actually shows us that they managed to grow over the last 10 years. And I started watching Shane Dawson last year. Before that, I had no clue who he was.
I don't know who Shane Dawson is, really. Some sort of entity that's attached to Jeffree Star, and I've only recently learned what that is.
That's the problem, apparently. But, I love his conspiracy theory videos. They literally give me shivers.
Has he actually managed to summon any demons yet?
I watched TanaCon thing, and I watched... Actually, his latest video was about that, so let's not. And then I watched his Jeffree Star one, and then I see people coming out with clips from him from 10 years ago, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like the same person to me. Can't we just accept that this person has grown?
The documentaries. Yeah, I think he's done a reasonable commodity.
James Marriott needs to go away.
Stop reading emails. He's done a reasonable amount of research into the docs. James Marriott, he's probably watching now. That's one of his alter accounts. He is aesthetic derp, getting new content for the internet. Yes, he does a lot better with his docs. But should he apologise for something he did 10 years ago?
He has, though. Has he? I'm sure he has at some point, but the point is,
but if he's apologized for something he did 10 years ago, showing that he is probably sorry about what's happened, unless it's just for presentation. But either way, if you apologize, is that enough?
Apparently not anymore. Apparently now it's like, if you did something like, guys, I said this to Chris earlier, and
hello, I'm Chris.
It's totally like OTT, but yes, this is what I'm gonna say. So, like, okay, the way that people are at the moment with being like, you should apologize for something you did 10 years ago, and why is this still up on your channel from 10 years ago? And it's like, because it shows growth, maybe. But I feel like, are we actually going to get to the point with this where, you're turning around to someone and being like, do you know what? I remember when you were like 4 and you pushed me. So that means that you assaulted me, which means that you're a really, really bad person and you can never be better. So
this is true. If you're liked or pretty, you can pretty much get away with anything, and that's great. I don't really know personally what that's like, but it is true that people are much more active in the way that they're trying to cancel.
Is
people.
That Mitch?
It could
Mitch,
be.
Is that you, Mitch? It's going to be like.
This is one of the many Twitter identities that you communicate with on a daily basis, is it?
Could be. I don't know. It's not going to answer now.
Well,
no.
Anyway, yeah, it's very much true. I don't know who Mitch is. That's a good answer. Either way.
Twitter Mitch.
Do
you speak to me on Twitter? Is what I'm saying.
There we go.
I
am sometimes. That's also a good nice answer. But yeah, the reality is that I try and be accountable for everything that I've done. I try and apologize for the mistakes I've made, and I try and grow from them. That's all I can do. I try and hold myself to a high standard, and it's difficult because I've made loads of mistakes, and I've learned because of the fact I've made lots of mistakes.
I'm perfect.
And Kez is perfect. That's why she suffers from chronic pain, because she didn't have an accident, when she was an Olympian.
I never made it to the Olympics. Don't say that.
No, okay. So trainee squad, I would say. In my world,
I should have made it to the Olympics.
You were stronger and fitter. Good luck. There will be dirt. It's pretty easy. She's a very profound internet celebrity. I haven't backtraced all of her links yet and removed anything on the scandals that she's taken part in the past. But you'd have to know her real name.
I was about to say, if he can find out, he's totally. Mitch, if you find out my real name, please don't publish it. Just like DM me, because it's scary.
It's fine. Doxing, I think, is another important issue, because I'm always terrified I'm going to get doxed. That's why I move so much. I move around so many times that, I even left the country a couple of times.
A couple? I lived in Spain, and we lived in Germany.
We went to Nigeria.
We did go to Nigeria for a month.
But no, I mean, we have a toxic, a critically toxic environment at the moment, because everyone is trapped in their houses, bored as anything, and
getting drunk.
Well, maybe getting drunk if they're of age, hopefully. But they want drama. They want something to talk about. So people are going to talk about anything that comes up, and you've got a lot of frustrated individuals going out in the streets protesting because they feel the inadequacies of society, because it doesn't actually look after their needs, because the minority will always feel oppressed.
I literally had someone on Twitter the other day try and make out that me caring about the Black Lives Matter movement made me a terrible human being.
And then you've got people saying that the Black Lives Matter movement is a Joe Biden fundraiser.
Yeah, that upsets me.
I mean, I don't explicitly know if that's true. There's subjective evidence, but that's not enough, really, is it? You need actual proof. Otherwise, you're just slanging allegations out there, which is great, because that's what Twitter's for, because you don't have to have any evidence. You don't have to have any proof. You don't have to be accountable for your actions, because you can make a new account in less than half an hour. and start poking at celebrities, because this is the world we live in. You know, it's a two-directional conversation now.
Yes.
You can meet your idols, you know, very much online.
Have better idols.
You can stalk your idols. You
I
know,
need more wine.
We have more wine. It's very lucky that we have more wine in the other room. But you can get online. You can stalk your idols. You can pressure your idols. You can intimidate your idols, all from the joys of your quarantined environment. So you don't even have to leave the joy of your lockdown home, and you're off.
Yeah.
It's just going to be me ranting to
No,
myself.
I'll be right back with wine. Keep ranting.
You're right. Yes. There is so much us versus them attitude, and people hate racism. I think that's fair. I think like everyone probably should hate racism. And yes, it is polarizing, because the idea is that it's not really, you know, yes, the issue is a racist issue. Black Lives Matter is trying to draw attention to the fact that, you know, minorities live the life of people being oppressed, and you will be victimized because of the fact that you don't support it, because you're deemed as a hateful person. You know, I keep quite quiet on this issue because of the fact I am very concerned.
Chris would be the best troll ever. If he wanted to be a troll, he'd beat Trisha Paytas at this point.
But I'm very concerned about people's safety. I think that, you know, rioting and looting, yes, there are philosophical arguments for the fact that this is a way to protest a society that deems business is greater.
Do we need to speak with such long words when we're drinking alcohol?
I think, you know, the point the point of the matter is that, you know, there are things that people have gone and done, and people have lost their lives. I mean, people have been losing their lives since that has all begun.
Yeah, but another interesting thing about the BLM movement is a lot of people.
Number one troll, get it trending. Thanks. Thank you. I mean, I love living under a bridge. It's my life. You know, it's got good bandwidth because all the cables go down there.
That
so,
film.
You know, I can get decent internet for free. That's nice.
That film. What's his name?
That film? That's great. We've watched
Oculus.
About 4,000
Oculus
films
guy.
in the last 3 years, and I know probably logically that doesn't make sense, but we're very good film watchers.
Anime watchers.
We are expert film watchers and anime watchers.
No, and, horror movies though mainly.
You know, you're having trouble opening the new wine, are you? But yeah, so I think that Mike Flanagan, he's the guy. He makes a lot of good movies. But
great horror movies.
We're supposed to be talking about tea.
The point about the BLM movement as well, though,
that's not tea.
It's
wine.
It's
political.
The thing about it is, so there was I have so many, and I'm so many white people on my Facebook saying all lives matter, and I was like,
that's really missing the point.
No, I know, but you know, I like to spend a lot of time on Reddit getting into arguments with people.
It's a good place to get into arguments.
But on there, I think it's one of the subreddits called something like "Get It Off My Chest" or "Why Is This So Controversial" or something like that. It's basically a Reddit where you can say something that you know a lot of people are not going to agree with, and you can like get it out there and no one's going to judge you for it. And someone said, what's wrong with saying all lives matter? And it was explained really well to me, which was basically, imagine, for example, you're sat down having dinner with your family. I cannot believe you've just mixed that wine in with the last of the French red. What are you doing? Anyway.
Why didn't you drink
So
cheers for Germany. Hello.
Hi.
Guten Tag.
Schmetterling.
Vielen Dank. Sorry, my German's not very good. I used to work in Germany and get asked for directions all the time on the U-Bahn, which was terrible for them and for me because I couldn't speak a word, and I just was very apologetic with my I don't know, that way too.
I just spoke Spanish in Germany and it was fine. You'd seriously be amazed at how many people spoke Spanish. So I was just like, Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy bien. So anyway, my point is, so the Black Lives Matter thing, someone explained it really well by saying, imagine that you're sat down having dinner and everyone gets served their portion of dinner except for you. And you say, hey, I deserve a meal too.
Give me some pizza.
And your dad or whoever's serving says, we all deserve our fair share.
We do.
And the problem with that is you still don't have your share. So it doesn't solve the problem. It just makes you feel like shit because you're like, oh, okay, so you don't care. And that's then the reason that Black Lives Matter has always had an inferred to, Black Lives Matter too. So when you say all lives matter, you completely invalidate the Black Lives Matter movement and all people of color. But most people don't know that. And they don't even have, they're too scared to even ask that question for fear that they'll get attacked. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's drink some more wine.
It. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually here to learn.
Oh, we're drunk too, Chris. And you're not the only Chris. He's Chris too.
I am. Yeah, I am Chris 1.
I'll shave my head smooth for the next 3 years.
I have a colleague who has a smoothly shaved head.
I see.
It's hard work for him to keep it fresh, but he enjoys it, so he keeps it, nice and shiny, smooth.
Exactly, Mitch. Mitch gets me.
Many Chris. The Marvel universe is
my brother's called Chris
filled
too.
with Chris's too. There are so many Chris's. It's almost like a conspiracy movement that people had the idea of calling people Chris, and it suddenly became like the name to have for a while.
Sorry, I'm trying to stalk.
That's the way
Chris.
to do it. Yeah, get some wine. That's what we're doing. But I'm supposed to be learning more about tea. I don't know anything about tea. JD is a good drink. It's a good substitute if you don't have wine, beer. We don't mind.
Does he mean Jack Daniels? Do you mean Jack Daniels though? Oh no, yeah, that will be Jack
I don't
Daniels.
know any other JD. I mean, it could be something I'm not familiar with. I'm not.
Christoph, are you a researcher?
Down with kids.
I could totally dox this guy right now.
Have you just? Oh dear. JD Sport.
That's the joke I was gonna make.
Is that so that you're gonna be all active later?
He's got.
ADHD is a very difficult condition to have.
You were not supposed to just say that.
Well, you're also live.
I was.
No, you're also live. The point is, you can't be quiet because people are supposed to hear you.
I think I found Christoph, but I don't think.
Don't dox people. No doxing.
No. He challenged me. Do you have a Bachelor of Science in Molecular Biotechnology and a Master's in Molecular Life Science?
Someone. Oh dear.
No, it's fine. Do it. Send it to the drama channels, and I'll get trillions of subs.
We're going to get trashed by the drama channels for doxing people. When I don't really think actually somebody's degree is a pretty public thing. You go and you study, and you study, and you're proud of it, right? So it's not really doxing someone if every time you go for a job, you
John
send
Swan,
in your CV. And you get your job based on the fact that you have information on your CV. Your CV is another, one of these legally binding public documents that you send to a whole load of people. So I don't really get doxing personally.
I don't really get the John Swan tea that happened today.
So what is the John Swan tea?
I haven't.
Let's get me up to date because
I haven't even watched it yet. But it just
no clue.
Apparently, so Chris Hansen sold the Inisyun story, which makes him a douchebag.
Now I get it.
And John Swan's doing a 3-part series on Chris Hansen and how he's a questionable human being.
So we can go for some super awesome rumors now and say,
yay!
Is Chris Hansen's show a complete fraud? Given that maybe the entire thing when he was on TV, was it just drama? He was
actually quite good looking, wasn't he? Back in the day?
Was it all staged? I'm not suggesting it was. I'm hopeful that he was actually doing a public service. But it's fun. You see, I can get taken out of context now, having said those things, and people can immediately go and jump at me and say, you're saying Chris Hansen was not an honourable human being. you're saying Chris Hansen was like making stuff up, and people do that. People take it out of context and immediately, jump on and say, oh, well,
oh, it's here actually.
Kez and Unicorns said,
oh wait, I can use her as a meat shield as well. Wait, I'm gonna pump that up real quick. She was in the gulag right away.
That's really annoying. Yeah. Who is that? Is this the T?
That's not John Swan though.
That's Odie.
I think that's
not
Augie.
John Swan. So well, there we go. So
no, John Swan's. I think he's Australian. He's got a really nice voice.
I'm learning about John.
But I wanted to send a message to Mitchie.
Augie string. Wow. So just me, Mitchie, you seem to be massively informed. You could tell me about tea. I really don't know what the tea world is all about. The point of this live is for Kez to educate me.
He said who's laughing now.
There we go.
Yeah, I went to drama school with Jessie J. It's not cool. She's a bitch.
Oh dear. There's some more doxing. Now you know which school. If you can do your research, you can dox which school Kez went to. There we go.
I haven't watched it yet, Mitchie. But I felt so.
Is that internet speak? What does that mean?
Bro.
The bit above.
Jessie J is from my ends. Are you?
What does that
you're
mean?
Romford. Are you? You're not Romford. Don't be Romford.
Doxing.
I'm doxing you.
Don't dox.
I'm just proving that I'm a stalker.
Research skills, stalker skills.
Anything.
Yeah, it's like we're on the tube right now. We're actually inside. This is where Unicorn Corner is. Oh dear. Oh no. See, are you down the dogs? Are you just checking out the races?
I lived in Southend for a while, but that was when I went to East 15. But no, I went to Brit school with Jessie J and Adele.
I didn't. I went to a normal school with, people called Kevin and Dave. And Dave was probably, he was like my friend, but not really my friend because he fancied the girl I fancied. So, that was problematic, I would imagine.
It's all right. I'm just waiting to get lots of simps.
I've bet on dogs from Romford and they did well for me. 126 was my magic combination of wasting my money on a Friday in the bookies. But so back to tea because that's what we're here for. I'm still supposed to be learning about tea.
Oh.
And Kez is my tea expert. She is literally. Yeah. That's it.
You're fine. Though I do have a friend that lives in Essex.
No, be a friend.
We might be moving to Essex.
Have you not seen that? Have you not seen that movie? What was it? Unfriended.
It's a good movie.
It's not scary or anything.
Mm.
Game night.
No, but the John Swan thing. So I felt like I was being really brave purely on Twitter of saying to people I refuse to say anything about this topic until I have had time to adequately view the evidence myself and make my own decision.
Yeah.
Because
that's fair.
People are saying that John Swan is some sort of misogynist because he jumped on that live near the end of it. So he wasn't even on it at the time that was mainly problematic, and they were mainly talking about the way that Chris Hansen has been using victims or survivors as, I don't know why survivors as shields. Well, that's what I get from it.
He's commoditizing the point with Chris Hansen is I think that he is trying to help the victims get back some semblance.
He sold the Onision story.
It's not really relevant whether he sold the Onision story or not, but I think the idea of Chris Hansen is more that it gets some sort of closure, some sort of feedback for the victims. I think
John's videos are always well researched. He does long ones too. He's my idol.
I still don't. Yeah, I still don't really know who John Swan is.
John Swan, Edwin.
I don't know.
These guys. The Right Opinion. You don't like The Right Opinion. The Right Opinion. You don't like his voice. You heard him talk for 5 seconds, and you were like, "Don't want to watch it."
Did I? Okay. Well, there we go. So
these people do long videos, and I'm like, yes, it can work. I don't know how to make a video 10 minutes.
That's okay.
It's not possible for me.
This live's
I have
already
too much to say.
35 minutes.
I know, and it's showing on the top of my.
And we're losing.
It's on my YouTube feed.
Losing people, but that's not important. We do need to talk about the tea.
What tea? What tea in particular?
You're supposed to be educating me in tea. That was your mission.
Was it? Was that before we drank all the wine?
No, your mission was to educate me in tea. So there are certain things that are and certain things that aren't tea, aren't there? So basically, when somebody's losing their mental faculties and degrading into some sort of animalistic character, then that's not tea, is it? It's
no, but apparently, I don't have proof of this yet. Why has Onision got long hair now?
Probably the lockdown. Hair extensions.
My hair got cut off because I let him cut my hair, and now actually you can. I posted it on my Twitter today. What can I say? I can't deny it anymore. I look like a 12-year-old boy. I've got three looks.
3 looks, and that's it.
I got a homeless man, a 12-year-old boy, and a hooker. That's all I know how to do. Who's speaking?
Random Polish person.
Is
that who Troy is?
No.
Troy?
That's aesthetic. Troy is one of the people that was in the John Swan.
Oh, okay.
John Swan was in the end of this live stream. Like, he was barely even included in it, but for some reason he was included as a misogynist who shouldn't be talking about Chris Hansen taking advantage of abuse or assault victims because he's a misogynist.
No, this is true. Misogynists, I think,
but
they're not the people to talk about.
We're just talking about like random YouTube.
I meant to learn about YouTube too. I mean, I don't even know who these YouTube celebrities are. Like, I learned yesterday who Jenna Marbles was. Am I saying it right?
Jenna Marbles, yeah.
Yeah, so I literally learned yesterday about the existence in the world of a person.
No, you didn't. I told you about
Jenna Marbles. And they're quitting YouTube.
They quit
some time, maybe. Yeah. Like, they'll probably be back tomorrow. But,
they might just start a new channel.
I don't know how that works. I mean, I do actually know how that works. But they, a lot of people are jumping on some drama and they're saying, I'm going to leave.
Okay, no, but
they come back.
Here's one of the things that really pissed me off. I think Mitch saw.
No. Okay, so that's a very good point. Okay, so if it is because he is a straight guy,
seriously,
then this brings into sexuality, which is a hot topic
bigotry,
at the moment, given that it's Pride Month, isn't it? So everybody's very happy about the.
I'll have one of my 2 videos out in time for Pride Month. I did 2. Only one's going to be out in time. What can I tell you?
But there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the non-hetero world, polyamory, LGBTQ and VZRST. I don't know. There are so many letters of that.
Oh, by the way, Mitch, I did musical theatre, so I can sing apparently. Just because you did music, I thought I'd let you know.
So I think it is very difficult for a straight person to have an opinion.
Is it?
We are in many respects marginalised because we don't use our voices, and when we do use our voices, it's going to be that. Well, why do you get the right to have an opinion? It's like
doesn't everyone have the right to an opinion?
I don't know anymore.
That's what Twitter's for.
This is the whole point. Is that I don't know who is right because it is a complicated issue. Misogyny is bad because it is basically
benevolent sexism bad.
They're the same thing in some respects, but they are putting women on the back foot, and it's not okay really for men to do that. It's another kind of oppression.
But there is no proof about the pay gap.
The gender pay gap is another highly complex.
There's no proof. There's no proof.
It's another highly complex, multivariable issue, and it is being addressed by lots of corporations by putting in place.
I definitely don't get paid
female directors, but the politics of that has got nothing to do with YouTube tea. YouTube tea is something that will attack an individual who is putting themselves out there as a personality, an individual who is having their opinions, and they will be attacked. Whatever their views are, they're going to get attacked.
VC. Is this what the youths say these days?
I'm not sure who is VC. Who's another one of these?
I remember in VC. What's VC, Mitch? I was gonna say something though about the whole T
Voice
thing.
tone. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I mean, it's an interesting issue. The idea that, a male or, well,
I've never even
it doesn't
thought of
matter.
that as being an issue.
If somebody says I'm not fully straight, I mean, it suddenly potentially confounds people's expectations because
I'm never fully straight. I wanna smile. Just drink my wine.
Sing away. It's awesome. But yes, I think you have confounded expectation, don't you? Because if there's a big hetero crowd that supports you, because lots of normies out there.
No, this isn't about that though. This is about women saying you as a straight guy have no right to talk about this other straight guy abusing women. I'm guessing that's about it.
Abuse is very different thing. I mean, abuse.
If you want to skip to tea quickly, we can talk about that thing yesterday that made me so angry. I almost lost my shit and threw my phone across the room.
Which one was that?
Inaba.
Fraser.
I sent him the boomerest tweet. I was like, "This is disgusting, Fraser." And then I read it back and was like, yeah, I sound like a boomer.
Yeah, my take is very much that
if you like trans people but you're a straight guy, does it make you gay?
No. Maybe.
It depends what gender.
I think your own personal sexuality. Sexuality is an interesting thing. Like I don't think explicitly how to define your sexuality.
Hey, completely. I've had dalliances with women, but apparently that's not enough to put me in the LGBTQ plus community. So.
I kissed a guy and I liked it, but then I was drunk.
You did more than that.
But that's. I think you define yourself, really. I think you choose what it is that you love. You've fall in love with people. You don't agree contractually and obliged to love. You don't it's not like I'm going into Starbucks and saying, oh, can I have a venti soy latte? And that's what I love. I love that, so I go to Starbucks to get myself a hazelnut frappuccino because that's the drink I like. I know that. That's my preferences. Yes, maybe sexuality in Starbucks orders aren't quite the metaphor that people need, but maybe they are. Maybe the point is, everybody likes Starbucks. Everyone likes the idea of going to a Starbucks.
This is one of those points where I'm like editing this in my head, and I just want to throw in that scene from Role Models where he's like, "Why is it venti? Venti doesn't mean large." And then she's like, "It's a venti because it's 20."
Yeah, I think the thing is, a lot of the time, trans people, if you like the top half, then you're definitely not gay. If you like the bottom half, then yeah, you're probably gay. But
but then what's your thoughts on Blair White?
I'm also assuming. I think Blair White is an interestingly handsome. What?
You got wine on the rug.
That was the point, right? Spilling wine. No. And there's also lots of types of love as well. Sexuality is very much
Mitch, you should tweet
about
that.
sex. More gay. Apparently in America they have the unicorn one.
Oh, they do.
That I would imagine.
But America's also full of Karens that will have a go at you for ordering that.
I don't care. The Karens can have a go at me.
Hey, I wanted to talk about Inaba being a douchebag.
Let's talk about Inaba being a douchebag. So Inaba said something really quite
disgusting.
Sad.
Disgusting.
It was pretty bad. He said something I think he shouldn't have said, and I think if he looks back with a little bit of, I don't know, sobriety and remorse, then he's maybe going to think he shouldn't have.
Okay, but firstly,
that. I'm assuming this is a comment about Jeffree Star, right?
Yeah. So firstly, we have to question, what exactly is the deal with, Fraser and the E-Boys? And I've spoken to James Marriott in DMs, and I I just like to throw that
Small
in there.
world, name dropping. It doesn't make you a celebrity.
I
don't
know.
do that.
But he's a dude. And I've spoken to him and I said, you know, that I was a bit worried because like Fraser had been away for a while and Fraser was the first e-boy person that I found. And I'm not a big fan of like one of the e-boys. The other three I like, but one of them I don't like. I don't like Will and E, okay? I'm just going to say the name. I don't like him. He's not my cup of tea. He's got a nice Geordie accent. He reminds me of like a Grove, but
you don't have to like everyone in tea.
But
I think liking anyone.
Firstly, we have to question what the fuck happened there, because why isn't he part of the E-boys? And I've spoken to James, and I've seen so many comments of people being like, "Why isn't I never here?" And no one's answered it. And then I've seen people on this tweet that he said about Jeffree Star. Now, he did not insult Jeffree Star. This is the problem that I had with it. Okay, so Willany is I've heard some weird things about I'm Alex recently, which I'm having to like rethink my stance, because I like him because he had an eating disorder and I'm anorexic, so
relatable.
I relate. But Fraser tweeted, oh, I don't know that it got him removed. He was just never
in the E-boys.
Why am I shouting?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm like yelling.
I think it's okay, but it's not too loud. You can see on the green dots how
loud it is. So he didn't tweet anything. He
was never in the E-boys.
But so he was never in the E-boys, as far as we can tell, which is weird. And then James moved out. Yeah, he moved in with his girlfriend, but also he moved out just after they got Fraser and James had been living together, and then they got a dog together. But then James moved out and now lives with his girlfriend. And I'm pretty sure I know where they live based on pictures because I know London.
Stop doxing
people. They that happened. And then, Fraser tweeted out on Father's Day, he retweeted Jeffree Star's tweet and said, "She didn't do a good job, bro." And to be fair to the Twitter sphere, like almost everyone was like, this ain't it. Like, this isn't okay. Like, you shouldn't know. This isn't cool. Because the thing is it's fine to attack a person that's an asshole. But he was remembering the fact that his dad committed suicide.
Best game. Snake. Love that game. Knock your snake. Love it.
He retweeted a tweet where Jeffree was remembering that his dad, who killed himself when he was 5, and that his mum had to raise him alone and she did the best job that she could. And then Fraser's reply was, "She didn't do a good job." So he wasn't insulting Jeffree Star. He was insulting Jeffree Star's mother. And I was brought up with only a mother because my dad was an asshole. And my mum killed herself when I was 15. So to me, I'm like, don't do that, Fraser. Like that's not okay. We're talking about suicide, and you might hate Jeffree Star, but
hate Jeffree Star.
Don't hate on his mum.
But don't. If you're going to attack a person, it's fair to attack the person and give them the opportunity to defend themselves. Because if you have allegations of facts, that are real. Yes, it's not a doxing thing. It's just Kez is probably the world's best internet researcher. She utilizes the terrifying.
Hey, I used to work for Twitter.
Terrifying platform known as Bing. It's this search engine that actually just gives you more information than Google.
Don't no. Just because I have it doesn't make it true.
This is true. No, Kez does happen to just have large amounts of knowledge about lots of things. It's a scary talent.
No, but don't
attack the people's family, because you are not attacking. They have no capacity to answer for themselves. They have no capacity to defend themselves. And you're losing all credibility because you are not making any points. You're not stating any facts. You're just being a nasty person.
Exactly. And the amount of people that had responded to this and said...
This is true. Yes. I mean, it might be possible that you know the dad and then your point is valid. But if you don't...
Yeah. If you know the situation, you can. It's like my uncle... My uncle was an asshole. He didn't but he didn't really raise me because I pretty much learned everything I could from my mom before she died. And then I don't attribute, the only things I attribute to my actual like living family members are my trauma and the fact that I'm completely fucked up. That's all they taught me. But one thing that I can say is that there were so many people underneath this tweet that were like, this is why you weren't included in the E-Boys. This is why your mates dropped you. So I have to wonder what the hell happened to him to make him suddenly change. And I remember when I first found Ainaba, I watched a number of his videos before I decided to follow him on Twitter. And then when I found him on Twitter, I was like, he doesn't seem like the same person because he just seems like a complete asshole on Twitter.
No, but absolutely it is. It's not, you're not doing anything other than just being mean. Because,
yeah, for the hell of it.
That person, that they are gone. I mean, I think pretty much everyone I know.
It was also on Father's Day.
Had some touch.
Like just
with suicide. Mental health is, it's a terrifying thing.
I died.
Yeah, you spent some time dead. Came back, and yeah, it's a scary thing to live with anyone who has committed suicide. A friend of mine, my best friend, when I was at school, his father, he took his own life. I have people I went to school with who managed to die, and I'm no stranger to the mental health circuit. I've been in hospital a couple of times, and it really is, they're not there to defend themselves. They won't be, they can't be. But you're still, why are you attacking someone's family?
Yeah, like what's the need for it?
You don't need to.
Like Fraser, has.
I am Alex. I think he's funny. I mean, he may be a prick. Not really sure about.
Why
that.
is he a prick though? Because I can't seem to get an answer. I heard something about Slazo and him saying his friend. Was it him saying his friend was a rapist or defending his friend who was a rapist?
Twitter is wonderful. It's a great place. Do you know what you can do with Twitter? You can lose trillions of dollars. You can actually cause the stock exchange in America, because of the fact it's so dependent on semantic analysis. You can cause it to lose trillions of dollars in minutes. But yes, it's the id of the human collective psyche.
Okay.
Yes, you definitely go very narcissistic on that, because, well, it's only your own voice shouted into the crowd.
Except it amazes me, like the amount of times that I'm on there.
Take to the Twitter sphere, Chris, number one troll.
The amount of times I'm on there sometimes, and I end up having a conversation with someone that starts heated, and then we end it being all like, "Thank you, no, thank you, thank you," and I'm like, for someone with BPD, I feel such an incredulous amount of awesomeness that I managed to actually have a conversation with someone without just like losing my shit. But like, this is okay. So this is my thing here. Dissociated, right?
Oh dear.
I doubt they know who Dissociated is. If you know who Dissociated is, let me know. I'm
not sure whether you get a gold star or whether you're just in a niche.
You just Dissociated was on Anthony Padilla's show though, so that's the only reason they have as many followers, subscribers as they have.
So we don't actually have.
See, I knew you would.
Didn't take long. So we don't have any proof as to whether or not. I mean, this is the terrifying thing, is it's very much trial by media, and you don't need proof.
Do you like Dissociated? Do I want to ask?
You don't need to you don't need to have proof. This is the joy of social media, is it is not regulated. You do not need to have proof. It is self-moderated.
Rahul, did he take it back? Or did he just like shove it under the carpet and act like
maybe
he never did that?
He moved on. Same thing. Ooh.
I don't know. That's coming out.
I don't know who James Charles is either.
Who are you?
I'm a guy who makes internets. I don't use them. But seriously, I
Your desk is there. My desk is there.
I do. I make internets.
I film videos.
I don't listen to them. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can get away with saying on Twitter. You can do whatever you like on Twitter. You can say whatever you want on Twitter. and it is without any license and
But
without any
Mitch,
reprisal.
okay, Mitch, this is interesting. Okay, so I found Dissociated, and I did a video. I don't know if you've watched it. I did a video on it. The whole Trisha Paytas saying she has DID, and me kind of comparing DID to BPD and how I could relate to Trisha from the perspective of someone with BPD, not DID. And apparently a lot of people get misdiagnosed with DID when they actually have like really severe BPD. But anyway, the thing with Mitch
He's your
makes
stan.
me, yeah.
He's one of your stands.
But I don't know, aesthetic might be too.
No,
if
I
they're
mean
still here.
this is
But
true.
The thing with Dissociated is this, right?
DID may not be anything other than a trauma-based condition, and it is dangerous that the internet is helping to keep a person who's ill and needs treatment ill. You are Kez Stan account. No, there you go. Is that gonna be
Makes me so happy.
New Twitter name?
But no, the thing with Dissociated though is she has repeatedly refused to apologize for certain things that she's done, and it would be very simple. I feel like I should just say.
You love the word simp at the moment. Don't
I'm
you?
saying she.
They.
Let's be.
We're going to be temporarily respectful.
Though I have to. No. That's you.
I don't want to
include me in your.
Want to be. I'm going to be temporarily respectful and suggest that they have completely different brain chemistry to every other human being out there.
I'm part of a Discord server with people with DID. Leave me alone.
So they only exist in places where there are psychologists who will diagnose them. That's a weird fact.
Here's my issue with Dissociated, though. It's not really any of that. And it's not really even a particular issue with Dissociated. It's an issue with, again, drama channels, which is Dissociated has repeatedly done shit that just hasn't been acceptable. Like, I'm not going to really... I don't know about the Teen Pinata porn stuff. I don't know if they had anything to do with that, and so I'm not going to talk about that. But... like, they have repeatedly done things that people perceive as racist, and
we know at
one point they apologized, but they apologized on their Tumblr, which is like doesn't even exist anymore. And when people have addressed this and said to them on their Instagram, and this was after they disabled their Twitter. On their Instagram, they would literally block people that had anything negative to say about them, and they would just refuse or say, like, we've already apologized. But it's like, why don't you just apologize again? Yeah, like, I'm not a POC, but I did try to...
I don't even know what cancel culture is, so,
Cancel culture is toxic.
I don't believe in cancel culture.
It's bullying for the 2020s.
I believe in the self-moderated chaos that Twitter is.
But the thing is that
it's like, yes, you're going to have Fight Club on there, but don't talk about Fight Club. But you can talk about it on Twitter because that's okay.
But no, the thing is it wasn't just Nadia, the Native American. Dissociated is
a very poorly
a mental health channel, and they are a system that has dissociative identity disorder.
and they met with a psychologist who's happy to diagnose them with a condition called multiple personality disorder.
No, that's what it used to be. It's now dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah,
I've done my research, but. Okay, so it wasn't actually just the Nadia
that
is their Native American. It was also...
That's the scary thing, is that, child porn is not a thing that you should have on the internet.
No. Rahul's right. It was Dissociated... I don't know if it was boyfriend or girlfriend. I have no idea. But Teen Pinata, yeah, they were making and distributing child porn.
In their wonderful world where there are multiple things, then does gender apply?
But the Native American, they apologized for, and everyone accepted that. But then Dissociated has another alter that is apparently Indian or something.
Them friend.
And a weird, what seemed to be pretty fake, but I don't know, accent came through. And people were like, you need to apologize for this because it's offensive to people of color. And instead of just saying, okay, let's address this, we apologize to people of color for offending you, which they could have done quickly and easily.
We're get taken out of context because you just said we apologize to people of color.
They literally just kept saying, but we've apologized for it. We've apologized for it. But we've apologized for it. And it's like, but you haven't, because you keep saying you've apologized for it, but you're not apologizing for it. And then on top of that,
change in behavior, it's not an apology anyway.
Then they started blocking and muting like anyone that would say anything against them on Instagram. And then they told Instagram that they were quitting social media. And then they went on to their Patreon, which is where they make most of their money, and said, no, we're not leaving. We're still making YouTube content. We're just not going to be on other social media platforms because, I don't know, maybe like we can't control the narrative on there and we can't control what people think and say. So we don't want to hold ourselves accountable. So we're just going to like step away from the actual DID community that we're supposed to be helping them and helping young people that have gone through trauma acclimatize to their world that they're living in now. We're just going to say, no, we only are going to work on YouTube and Patreon where we make lots of money and fuck everyone else.
And this is the joy of, not being in an environment where you're self-moderated, because if...
I got my bones cracked.
That's just some random email.
It's Amanda.
Anyway, so
that's my intro.
I
bet Mitch knows who that is.
Oh dear, probably.
Yeah, there was Native. She's got Native American. I think it's Amira.
From my
who's Indian?
From my very naive perspective as a person who's spent over a decade of my life in and out of mental health care, I understand that people who suffer from trauma have coping mechanisms. Their brain defends themselves, and a psychologist will create a term for that thing. This is how science works. That's fair enough. But unfortunately, I think the difficulty we have now is that a lot of science is getting fucked up because of the fact that people are just allowed to go on YouTube and blurt their opinions and say this, and this, and these are all facts, where they're not. They're not backed up by any scientific rigor. They're not backed up by any evidence. They're very much not backed up by anything. They're just, people's opinions and thoughts. And also you get people who are indulging themselves, getting way too bright. You're getting people who are indulging themselves rather than getting the help they need. And I think that's very problematic.
That's exactly your argument.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I could switch on camera.
I could too.
Everyone could switch on camera. The point is that you are someone
else. Bro, what's up?
What's
going on? Why am I wearing this? Like,
you are someone else in different contexts. And, we are all capable of playing different roles in our lives. I have a job that I do at my desk. And I'm quite quiet.
He plays Minesweeper all day.
That's not really the best thing to say, outing me on a live stream.
Oh, as if anyone's going to...
Yes, that's how it works, you see, because you say things on social media.
I'm not going to mention the company or...
You say things on social media and then it gets back. Kez nice, we have Kez. But I think this is the thing, is that, yes, they have to be responsible for their actions. Yeah. I'm sorry, if a system fires a gun and kills a person, they're responsible.
And actually...
However they want to, say, oh, it was this alter.
No,
okay, that's fine. But unfortunately, your brain, which is inside your skull, which is inside your body, which you describe as a system and other people describe as a person, is responsible for the actions of the hand that was attached to your body that fired the bullet from the gun that killed the person who was not a system, who is now deceased. So yeah, they have to take accountability.
Your line of narrative there really reminded me of the, there's a house, there's a village. In the village, there's a house. In the house, there's a
church. There's a steeple.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But
there's the people. But
no, the thing is that with
hello, Roy. Lots of numbers from Twitter. You've just doxed yourself.
He's just saying us
public information.
The thing is, with people with right, okay. So as someone with way too many mental health issues, I always say, mental health issues or any health issues do not give you the right to be a shitty human being. It just doesn't. And even with DID,
there is a caveat to that. There is diminished capacity, which is a completely different thing and a legal thing. But no, generally speaking, you can't have an emotional outrage, whether you have BPD or don't, kill someone and not expect consequences.
Exactly. When I do shitty stuff and I'm I can easily say afterwards, my BPD means that because of this situation, I processed it in this way and that led to me doing this. And it's kind of that's fine if someone's willing to hear you out, but at the same time, if you actually commit a crime, then you're still responsible. And if you have DID and your alters are responsible, I did make this point of saying, for example, if someone has DID and they have alters, as anyone with DID has alters, and if their alters, some alters can be fictives and not age, so they have no age, and other alters can be a different age to the body, and some alters can age slide. What if you're a 20-year-old body, but you have an alter that is a 12-year-old, and as a result, you are attracted to 12-year-olds
Good answer,
when you're
Mitchie.
that alter?
Kez is straying off into the realms of scary stuff. But yeah, you're right. If you are a 12-year-old, don't act on those urges. If you're a system.
No, but what I mean is, if we're going to try and defend Team Piñata.
No, we're not.
If Team Piñata.
No, we're not here to defend. We're here to discuss.
But Team Piñata does have apparently an alter. I think it's Jeremy, or is that the actual body's name? I don't know. But who age slides, which means that they could potentially be drawing things that if they were a child, they would draw and it would be fine. But unfortunately, Nan or Team Piñata is still an adult, which still means that what they did is messed up. And as I think is often the way with T, though, is that in almost all of these circumstances, even the mega fucked up ones where people have broken the law or whatever, if a YouTuber or a public figure comes forward and said, yeah, I did this, it was shitty, there is literally no excuse for it. I don't know why I did it. I'm really, really, really sorry. I'm holding myself accountable, and this video and the next 3 videos, all proceeds will go to X charity as a way of trying to, learn from my mistake. I think most people would accept that, but so few public figures or YouTubers seem to ever want to accept accountability or responsibility for anything they do, that it gets to the point.
I think that's definitely something where you need to be institutionalized. I think if you're going to perpetually keep hiding under children's beds,
I heard about that. Yeah,
then you're likely going to get institutionalized. I don't think prison is necessarily the right place for you, because it's very likely that it is.
For you, don't say like it's him.
For what?
You're saying you.
I mean you as in the person. I don't mean you specifically. I don't even know who you are. But yes. If a crime's been committed, then yes, prison. But there are, institutions that are basically like prisons. And it is very difficult. There are lots of laws. Each
the thing
country
is,
has
though,
its own laws. Generally speaking, they very wrongful of.
Here's a key question. Okay, so the 16-year-old. the 16-year-old, if the way he thinks makes him attracted to 13-year-olds, like, okay, I'm just remembering myself at 13, like...
Welcome back.
Welcome back!
We've just been on pause until you came back. We've just been like...
If he's attracted to... Sorry, I say... Did you say he? Yeah. If this 16-year-old is attracted to 13-year-olds, is there any sexual...
I think the great thing... No, but I think the great thing is that you're probably talking in the theory, it would be, let's say, a 20-year-old who is claiming or has been...
No, this is a 16-year-old.
Well, yeah, but they've been described with a condition. Okay, so a 16-year-old with autism, definitely institution. That's my opinion. You know, the reason that's my opinion is because of the fact that there is clearly very different activity going on in their brain. It can be proven by scans, and you know, they do have diminished capacity. They don't have the same level of comprehension and cognition that most people have. You know, and you know, I'm not talking about most YouTubers. I'm sure most YouTubers probably would be able to get away with saying I've got diminished capacity because I'm a YouTuber with 1 million fans. I'm joking. I love the platform. But yeah,
you don't love the platform.
It's awesome. You know, it's taught me some of the things I know about tea, which I never wanted to know was a thing. But I'm learning about it. Bardcore. That was fun. That's in the zeitgeist. If you don't know what it is, try and find a search engine somewhere. But yeah, if somebody is a threat to people, then prison is probably where they're going to go. If somebody can be a threat to people, but could get help, then an institution, I think, would be better. Yes.
But now, no.
This is true. People can.
This is going to digress into maps.
The point is, everybody can be taught how to behave properly, apart from people with memory.
Okay.
You know, apart from people with memory deficiencies, which is obviously another neurological problem. But yes, you can teach anyone anything. But the point is that just because you can teach them to behave doesn't mean they will always behave in that way.
Actually, I don't know if you're familiar, but Ready to Glare, like I love her.
We're not allowed to say anything interesting.
Okay. Well, I'll just repeat it if Mitch needs to know. So, like, I stan Ready to Glare personally, and you'd have to go quite a way back in time. But she actually did an interview, because she talks about a lot of true crime on her channel, and she actually did an interview with a MAP, or a minor attracted person, which is basically a pedophile.
See, you went maps. We didn't have to go.
There are many. It led me to it.
No,
but there are many people that were. But the person that she spoke to was a no contact map, so they were very much saying like, yes, I am attracted to minors, but I know that I can't do anything about that because society says it's wrong, and I'm going to accept that it's wrong. So despite the fact that I'm attracted to, I don't know, 10, 12-year-old girls, I will never act on that because I know that it's wrong. So it's kind of like...
You're going to get screen grabbed, and that's going to be like all over Twitter.
In this case...
It's going to be literally you just that soundbite, because people will take facts out of context and use them, and that's the whole point of tea.
Yeah, but the whole live will be available.
Yeah, even worse. You know, people will just time code you and say, look, go to this point. You know, you're attracted to 12-year-old boys.
My point is...
Was it boys? Did you genderize
I don't know if I genderized it. But the point is that it was a really good example of how someone can be attracted to people that society says it's not really okay for you to be attracted to them. Understanding to be able to say, yeah, that's wrong. It's like I always used to say, sociopaths, when you watch movies where like sociopaths go and like kill people, I'm always like, but they know what they're doing is wrong. So even if you say, well, they do it because they get some sort of like sexual release,
The
or they get happiness.
The simple thing about
they still know.
The simple thing about every religion is murder is wrong.
No, but if you are...
Yeah, it was really boring. Don't worry. You didn't miss anything. We just did our $1 million prize draw.
I was talking about Ready to Glare and maps. Don't know if that's interesting.
No, it's not interesting.
But
more,
Rahul's...
no, this is true. Ready to Glare is very interesting. Yeah, we are absolutely. That was the whole point of going live and chatting shit, because you know we're
yeah. I was like, I've been talking to this guy Mitch. I need to talk about it. It's not true, Mitch.
But yeah, I mean, there's definitely people who have, you know, some diminished capacity, and there are people who have conditions that society definitely is finding very difficult for society to deal with and approach.
You just have to stick with me. Aesthetic, right near the start, asked us our favourite anime and we didn't reply.
Really?
Yeah.
We are rubbish. Wow.
Fairy Tail?
Yeah.
No Game No Life?
Shield Hero?
Madoka?
Oh.
Prison School?
Prison. Oh my word. Prison School.
The memories, the little horse.
Yes, self-diagnosing is definitely a really, really dangerous thing to do.
Actually, Dissociated literally has tips on her channel about how to self-diagnose. Please go and
get yourself diagnosed with DID, because I need it to be a thing.
She literally says how to get diagnosed with DID.
Go get a diagnosis. It needs to be a thing, because if it's a condition, it can be studied.
So we watched that one channel and they said that actually DID was being removed from the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, DSM.
So the point is that some doctors...
No problem, aesthetic. I remembered eventually.
Some doctors think that maybe DID is not a thing. And I mean, why would they know anything? They study, you know, medicine for years. They, you know, go to conferences and talk to each other. It might not be a thing. I mean, it's my opinion.
No, it could be incredible. Like, let's be honest.
The reality is they're sufferers from trauma, which is in itself horrific. And, you know, we'll all agree trauma is bad. We don't want trauma. Don't be in the scene at the beginning of Attack on Titans where the Titans are ripping people in half, because that will cause you some trauma.
God, the first time we watched that, just being like,
yeah, don't do that. That's terrifying. But
no, but that actually leads me on to the Susie Lou thing.
Oh, good old Susie Lou. Yes, it's.
I actually was diagnosed with EUPD, emotionally unstable personality disorder. I don't know if that's better.
Yeah, that's a good one for Google. The difference between anime and manga. I mean, the difference is that a manga is a print work, and an anime is a screen work. So you know, anime is short for animation.
What was it though? What was it? The one that we watched with the goddesses, and we were so pissed off by the third film or whatever it was that we literally spent like 2 hours trying to find the manga to see how it actually Heaven's Lost Property. Yeah. We literally spent like hours trying to find out how the manga ended.
Yeah, I think
because we were so annoyed.
Medical terminology can be quite confusing. I mean, I think it's designed that way in some respects, because they want you to be confused, because then it's like, oh, you've got this condition. I mean,
I didn't even get told that was my diagnosis until I was like, why are you asking me all of these weird questions? And they were like, because of your diagnosis. And I was like,
I have a diagnosis of manic depression, which apparently isn't a thing anymore, but that's because I'm old than most. And now it's been relabeled bipolar, but I don't really know whether it's accurate. I just know that, you know, sometimes I get really ill and can't cope with reality, because reality kind of sucks sometimes, and it's nice to escape into the mania of, you know, just running around, not worrying about anything, literally, not even gravity. Don't even worry about that. And it's fine, because, you know, rules of gravity aren't fixed. Like, let's just change physics and everything's fine.
It was a terrifying time.
It was a bit 2 weeks. Lost my job.
No, it was more than 2 weeks. And no, you didn't lose your job. You quit your job for a new job, and then you lost your new job because you were in hospital and they didn't care.
No, because corporations don't care. This is one of the terrifying things of
Should we start a hashtag renters' lives matter?
Yes, renters' lives do matter, but that's not tea.
It's not. Hardly any of this is tea. I don't know what of this has really been tea.
This is true. Yeah, gravity is subjective. Like there is a suggestion that there is actually no gravity, and in fact, everything sticks to things with an electromagnetic force. An electrostatic force instead.
Is that? Yeah, but that's still gravity.
No, see, it's not. Electrostatic is completely different. So
no.
The stars and the planets would stick into the firmament because of the idea that they're electrostatically.
But the theory can be different.
Degrees, so we studied things.
I think a lot of people get degrees. Mitch has a degree in music, I think.
Doxing, doxy dox.
He said it in the chat.
Even better. So but I mean, having a degree in music is great. So you probably would know how to annihilate the apple with harmonics before it hit the ground anyway. Just send the appropriate sound wave at it, and you get.
No, but what I mean is a name.
1,000 pieces.
A name is but a name.
No. I think you'll find, a rose by any other name.
Yeah.
Would it smell as sweet? That's where you were going.
No, that was so obvious. I was leading you there, hoping you weren't going to take the obvious approach.
Yes, this is true. I mean, anyone who has a degree is a scientist. I'm a big believer in STEAM, not STEM. Because the people who studied arts actually utilize the creative side of their brain in alliance with the logical side of their brain and end up with decent conclusions. Renters' lives matter. Yes, they do.
My master's was in anthropology.
We've been completely done because of this lockdown. We're trapped in we're trapped in this world, and we've lost money.
And we can't even use our swimming pool.
That's so privileged.
Still, it's right there.
Yeah.
And I can't use it.
There we go.
Or the gym.
Yeah, so obviously, because of Kez's physical health, she suffers from CRPS. And that's why we live in somewhere that has a swimming pool so that she can do physical occupational therapy. No, we don't really have a swimming pool. We live in an apartment that has a swimming pool. So no. I mean, if we lived in LA, probably everyone there has a swimming pool, don't they? Yes, this is true, but I mean, history could be your own history. So you could write your own autobiography and be a historian. You could literally say my nightmare middle school or my heavenly high school, one of those.
No, but seriously, I did a master's in anthropology, and people don't include anthropology.
It doesn't make.
They're like, it's a social scientist.
I love.
It's still a science.
Blackstone, Cherry, and AC/DC. So those are two bands. That makes me a geologist, right? Because they're rock bands.
I did my GCSE in art. Oh, you are an artist. We're all artists. I'm a performance artist. Mitch is too, because music.
I am not an artist. I am an engineer.
No, you're an artist of.
I am not an artist.
JavaScript.
No, I am an engineer. I'm an engineer of JavaScript. I write programs with programming languages, and that's my day job. That's that Batman joke, isn't it?
No, I used to actually. Who's that?
No, you're supposed to say "come in," because Batman isn't afraid of anyone.
Oh. Actually, Rahul, I used to run a restaurant in London. That was some good times. Used to get drunk a lot. I'm gonna get drunk again.
Everyone does some music. Singing is music. Even if you do it in the shower or the bath, underwater. Don't do it for too long underwater.
I was about to be like, Mitch, go and watch my unboxing, and then I remembered I took that shit down.
Taken down because it was.
I sang in that.
Inappropriate. But you are on TikTok singing.
No,
I don't know
not.
if you're still on TikTok. You had an old account and then TikTok updated and I think it disappeared.
It did disappear and I'm too scared.
Maybe you got taken off of it. Anyway,
like,
back to T. So Jeffree Star then, he's been, you know, tweeting about his family, the lack of it.
Oh wow, we're going back there.
I don't know. Just
by the way, hospitality management is valid.
Dragging it back to T. Oh no.
Is that a challenge?
No, put it away. But no, there is no challenge of, you know, finding TikTok. It seriously, I've got skills.
I'm gonna find it.
If I wanted to find people.
No, I'm the one that's good at that.
But yeah, between the two of us, we have the skills to pretty much find anyone, dox anyone.
We were supposed to work for the Nigerian president.
Yeah, we literally were. But that didn't happen.
We genuinely.
So now back to T. Okay. That's the point. So what is the latest T? I mean, isn't the easy way to find T to go on Twitter for like 5 seconds and see what everyone's angry about on the trending thing?
That does help, but no, I think
it's easy to get distracted. I think the wine doesn't really help. No, not for the tea. Boiling wine probably.
I finished my
horrible.
Conversation nicely. It's okay, and I'm sorry for saying you were okaying some of her behaviour. I misunderstood.
Actual tea, not personal conversations.
It's nice to disagree as long as both sides are willing to listen and understand each other.
Where's the tea? That's beautiful. A beautiful sentiment. Now, where's the tea?
Kind of weird.
What is the latest tea? I mean, you guys can tell us what the latest tea is. You know, we're open to information. It's a two-way conversation. That's the whole point of going live. You know, you guys can influence us and we can influence you.
What? If this is one of you guys, it's probably one of these guys.
Maybe.
I got a message saying, I'm so sad YouTube didn't give me a notification you went live. Would have loved to drink wine and spill tea. Like, that was an hour ago.
Well, maybe that was Christoph. Who knows?
Or Rahul.
Either way, you know, find some tea. You're the one who's supposed to be the expert at tea. If you guys would like to know about JavaScript or TypeScript,
no one wants to know about that.
No one cares about how this stuff works.
My phone's going to die too.
Plug it in. Oh, you can't because that'll take the light away. But yeah, we're happy
Jackie
to talk
Beltrao has her breast cancer's returned.
Keanu
Reeves is trending. He's a dude.
That's.
If you hate Keanu Reeves,
who is
what? Okay,
who is that?
Shane.
Who is Shane? I'm learning everything every minute.
No.
I don't know.
Shane is Shane Dawson.
Sorry, Shane. Yes, I do know who Shane Dawson is. They're a monster. Possibly. Why? Is it because of all the demon summoning?
Listen to this. Keanu Reeves reportedly gave approximately $80 million of his $114 million earnings from The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions to the special effects and makeup staff. He also donates millions to children's hospitals and cancer research. He's such a dude. Keanu Reeves.
Oh dear.
One day he'll come for me.
Kavos's latest video on him. Kez is not a. I totally tell you about JavaScript, but we've got some tea, so we're going to go with that. Kavos is not Kez's friend.
I just pulled him up on his shit in my Gabby Hanna video, which is not me defending Gabby Hanna. It's me making a point about tea and mental health and crossing lines. And Kavos's video on Gabby Hanna was it was literally just bullying. And I liked Kavos before, so I still like him.
I've got to get on this. I'm sorry,
but
no. Learning Visual Basic is not. It's a way of helping you think in a structural way. So it's not useless. It's very much, it's the foundations of how to get you, talking about other things.
I don't know why Keanu Reeves is trending, but I'm just here to say that the world doesn't deserve him. There is no one kinder or more precious than Keanu. I would trust this man with everything. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That gets a retweet.
There we go. Yeah, we love a bit of Keanu Reeves.
We stan.
Yeah, we absolutely stan Keanu Reeves and Coca-Cola. But yeah, no, Shane Dawson, probably quite a problematic human being.
I got retweeted by Coca-Cola once.
You did, but Shane
I did.
Dawson. No, tell
Shane
me all about
Dawson.
Shane Dawson. Apparently, Kavos has done a video as to why Shane is a.
Kavos just
one of the
seems
worst human
to.
beings alive.
No, okay. I've only been following Kavos for like weeks.
I'm actually curious though, right? So
I only started using Twitter again. Like I used to work for Twitter about like
do you think
5 or 6 years ago, and I just started using Twitter again about like 3 weeks ago.
Do you think that being a YouTuber can that make you the worst human being alive?
Yeah.
Or do you think that being a YouTuber
Shane
gives
Dawson, this
the
is
worst human beings alive
unforgivable.
a platform?
Propulsive footage exposed. Okay, we're genuinely trying to decide if we should.
3-hour loop. Is it 3 hour long, that song?
No, you've heard that song though.
Have I?
I played Gabby Hanna's songs to Chris. I was like, you need to hear these songs to understand why I connect. And he listened to them and he was like, yeah, I get why you connect. She sounds like you. Everyone hates me. It's fine. I deal with it.
It's a BPD thing. It's, you know, I've got to go and eat worms down the bottom of the garden or something like that because, you know, BPD.
Kamikaze.
That's it. Keanu Stan, definitely.
Sorry, I'm on Kavos now.
Right, so Kavos, you'll all have to tell me. It's y'all, isn't it? Is it y'all? Am I saying
Y'all.
right? Y'all have to tell me who this Kavos is because Kez hates them. I'm not sure why. Probably.
No, I don't hate him.
Don't hate him. Okay. What is it then?
I hated his video on Gabby Hanna because I felt like it wasn't constructive. I'm all for people being constructive. Like, even, like, okay, Gabby Hanna, when she's like, I'm not going to watch these haters because when I see someone say, like, Gabby Hanna's poetry is bad, I'm not going to watch it. But at the same time, it's like, but Gabby, like, you're a YouTuber, you get, like, clickbait, right?
That's
like,
all we are.
I recently...
Camera, saying stuff.
I recently renamed almost all of my videos to be more clickbaity because I was like, maybe I'll get more people to watch my videos this way. Right?
Maybe it's all sub bots.
He's got a theory. I got a theory.
No. I don't have a theory. It's always fun to say sub bots because it's amazing how quickly people think, what's a sub bot? Oh, somebody using sub bots. What is this sub bot?
You have to stay with them because I need to pop
There we go.
away.
Yes, this is true. Every YouTuber is someone with a camera. And what? That's right. Every YouTuber is someone with a camera. We've got one of our unicorns standing in for Kez because Kez has got to disappear. But this is true. Like, you know, every YouTuber has a camera. You know, every person who has every person who has a computer these days, you know, they have the capacity to get their voice out there. You know, I used to have lots of strong opinions about JavaScript frameworks and stuff like that because that's what I'm interested in as an engineer, as a person who, you know, writes code that helps make the internet work. And you know, there's now a lot of hateful opinions out there. A lot of people who are trying to tear down people who are working very, very hard to be celebrities. And it's changed the dynamic because, you know, it used to be that you'd have celebrities who were these completely and utterly untouchable people who you'd see in cinemas. And if you actually saw them in person, you would be awestruck because you would be, you know, wow, this is incredible. I can't believe that I'm breathing the same air as this person. I can't believe that I'm in the same space as this person. Because we changed the barrier of entry. We've changed it from just being at the end of a cable, being at the end of a computer screen. You know, we can say something and it can go around the world and 1,000 people can agree with us and hundreds of thousands of people can agree with us. And we can create a movement. We can create amazing things as humans. We can access, you know, people in ways that we never used to be able to do so. And we don't have responsibility for that. You know, we can just do something and it can cause a chain reaction. The butterfly effect is now a real thing that you can watch. There are people who do it. I'm not going to comment on who. I don't know specifically. I know there are videos on YouTube that have 2 billion views, and that's billion with a B. views that have managed to make it with sub-bots to multiple millions of people. And that is pretty terrifying, and YouTube doesn't mind. Ethan Zuckerman decided to ruin the internet. That's controversial, isn't it? No, we're not getting into controversy here, are we? Sorry, no, that's the whole point. T is, let's discuss all these controversial things. I think everybody ruined the internet. It's not a single person who has ruined the internet. Everybody has ruined it. Yes, but then there was the guy who invented the buzzer alarm. He got so fed up of hearing buzzing noises that he got frustrated with that. And there was the guy who put lead in. There's the guy who put lead in petrol, one of the worst ecological crises of our nation, who was the same guy who also put CFCs in refrigerators. We're learning as a species. We're learning as individuals. We are pretty bad at the first pass at things. We're trying to get better. And yeah, lead in petrols, CFCs in refrigerators, same guy. Yeah, no, it was at the time because the purpose was to stop making engines make loads of noise, and it worked. So, we did what we thought was good at the time, and then we moved on, and then we realized, oh shit, we messed that up, and we had to move on. And this is the point, is that you can move on, but if you don't learn from your mistake, if you don't apologize for your, actions that are your failings, then you're not learning, and we're not learning as a species. And if we're not learning as a species, then we're doomed.
I've missed a lot.
Yes, we've been talking about the destruction of the internet, and I went into a bit of a rant about the joys of, I don't know.
Every YouTuber is someone with a camera.
So Kez has returned. I don't know where she went. I think she was on a Twitch stream in the other room.
Yeah, I heard about Deji and gaining 10 million subs. Chris is like, you should do that, and I'm like,
no, I'm not. I've never suggested you should use sub bots ever. I would
comment bots, engagement bots.
No, I've suggested you steer well clear of those. I've said they exist on the internet as a thing. Did you scroll to the bottom?
I think so. Kez, tell us the true tea.
So yeah,
I don't know, but some dude on my Twitter sent a great tweet out. I just retweeted it.
Kavos and the tea. Who is Kavos talking about at the moment?
I don't have much tea on Kavos, except for the fact that
yeah.
No, they're talking about you.
Have I been unicorned?
Yeah, he's been unicorned.
Yeah, we have many unicorns. It was a bit of a hobby.
No, it is a hobby.
I used to work.
They won't all fit on your head.
It's literally crushing my skull. I don't know if any of you have
Check
seen,
these out though.
I don't know if any of you have seen the experiment where they put the elastic bands around a grapefruit or a melon.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Look at those.
Put them away.
They're unicorny. Hey, they cost me a lot of money.
They cost me a lot of money.
No. Pip.
Me.
Thank you.
They cost me a lot of money.
Pip.
Yeah, Pip doesn't cover. Anyway. So yeah, we have an exciting room. It's taken many years to grow and create.
Half my wigs are
and
over there,
and
so.
a lot of cash. This is why we're in a weird situation now, because we're classic capitalists.
About
but we were trying to talk
stuff.
about Cabos. We were trying to talk about the tea with Shane that has just appeared in the world.
I don't think. Okay.
And
my thing, right?
Is it Shane is still apologising for things he did 10 years ago? It's okay. I've got used to them. Yeah, I think it's.
I only have more Neko ones.
4. I can't tell. Is that 4?
I have more Neko ones.
Don't put cat ears on me. That's fine.
Oh, and there's
I'll stick with the unicorn hands.
This one. the unicorn man.
Okay.
But
Welsh? Is he really?
That's,
could be a
that's
bit
the
of both.
tweet.
It could be a bit of both.
I heard Shane is actually a guy from Wales who moved to America after Dolly the sheep filed a restraining order. Now that's some tea.
We go. So that's a good tweet. So you know the it's a bit of both. I mean, generally speaking, a fetish and a hobby, aren't they like the same thing? It's just one is for grown-ups and the other one is for grown-ups and children. You know,
ask purity.
That's the description of that's the difference, isn't it, between a fetish and a hobby? You know, if you're a grown-up, it's a fetish. Rubber bands around a safe. Wow, that sounds scary. Yes, you're right. It probably is racist towards the Welsh. I didn't really think that the Welsh was a race.
So he's being self-deprecating.
Are the Welsh a race? Welsh are just people who live in Wales. Is that a race?
I don't know anymore.
I'm pretty sure they're all British. I don't think. I mean, I know that like back in the day, there was someone, Anne Widdecombe, was it, who had to make an apology about something she said.
Anne Widdecombe.
Mate,
okay, the only time I've ever heard mention of that person is Strictly Come Dancing.
No, not her then.
She was on Strictly Come Dancing.
The Weakest Link.
Yeah, she was on Strictly Come Dancing. With Anton.
Who was the one from The Weakest Link?
Carol Vorderman? No. Anne Robinson.
Anne Robinson, yeah. So she's...
How old am I?
She said something about the Welsh and she had to make a retraction.
But loads of TikTokers are like... TikTok with the guy being like, been in quarantine for 6 weeks and then looking at a sheep.
Yeah, but this is the thing is that, you know, there's a lot of people who make mistakes and say things that they don't realize, you know, yes, that's insensitive. But it's like, yes, you're being insensitive to a region, you know, like don't criticize redhead people's hair. Don't criticize people for the way that they appear, because the fact is, you know, you can't help how you are born and what you grow into.
No, but the point, the real thing that you want to say, Chris,
if you've got insane opinions, then you can criticize that because people are not allowed to have insane opinions.
No, but the real issue with all of that shit is, I'm sorry, but if you decide to like put a camera on someone
like this
for like years, there's going to be a point at which they say something that might be misconstrued as rude to a certain person or group of people. Like, dark humor is a thing. People make jokes about things that are triggering to people because for a lot of us, we use humor to
mask our insecurities
as a coping mechanism or to mask insecurities.
Yeah, we do.
So like you and me, we say a lot of jokes that if we said them publicly, people would be like...
Welsh people, though, would not consider themselves English. They would consider themselves Welsh.
Very few Welsh people speak Welsh, you know.
It's not really... I'm not talking about that as an issue. I'm just saying that Welsh people would definitely consider themselves Welsh. Yes, they are likely to be Anglo-Saxon, but they would consider themselves Welsh. And I think land boundaries are quite insane. That's my own personal opinion. I think we were all born on this earth. It's where we live. You know, we should be able to freely travel around if we want to and all those sort of things. But yeah, we're not getting into Welsh jokes. No, not getting into Welsh jokes.
I can't fit any more.
There are plenty of them.
Sorry.
There are plenty of them on the internet already. You know, you've gone crazy with the cat ears. But yeah,
they light up.
The British are, yeah. I mean, when I met Kez, she was very much teaching me about banter. You know, because it's
banter.
It's very much a way to be rude.
What?
You know?
Oh, banter.
Yeah, it's a great way to be rude. And mask it as saying, oh, it's just banter. You know.
No, true banter is banter. It's like the amount of people I grew up with, being friends with, and our friendships were based on the fact that we would take the piss out of each other.
Your friendships.
Yeah.
Those ships of friends that,
like,
keep in touch with you all the time.
Do you know how triggering that is to someone with BPD?
I don't know. How triggering is it to talk about a person with BPD's friends who are largely scumbags?
People with BPD, it's been proven, attract assholes, which is one of my little armchair psychology theories about Shane Dawson.
Judgment issues.
Is that he might have something like BPD, and if he did, that would explain why he is constantly attracted to toxic people, but why he refuses to get rid of them from his life because he feels that they're the only people that will accept him.
BPD, bad friends. It's a judgment thing because you're trusting, and it's not your fault.
No, it's not about the fact that we're trusting. It's the fact that we are so scared of being alone that if someone says, I'll be your friend, we go, thank you. And then we don't ever want to see the bad in them because they accepted us when we felt like no one would ever accept us.
I think Tourette's is a horrific condition to actually suffer from because you don't have any control over it. And you will say things, I knew a friend who...
I think Tourette's is different.
It is different. Tourette's is involuntary. There is no real control over it. You can learn capacity for some degree of control, but the tics that you have are largely going to be involuntary things and happen just anyway. And the difficulty you have there is you might be in a situation where you're in, say, the airport security line and you'd start screaming out bomb. Not because
I've totally wanted to do that before.
Not because you've got any way that you can help it. It's an involuntary thing, and it's actually because part of your brain is contextually aware of what one of the worst things that you would be able to say is.
Can I just
you might say it.
Mitch a minute?
Which Mitch?
Just me, Mitchie. Mitch, I'm totally plugging. Did you watch my video about? I told my friend I had BPD and this happened.
No, a lot of people don't know what it is. Mental health was when I came into the mental health sphere back in the last millennium. I had no idea at all that people suffered from mental health conditions. And I had to explore an entirely new world to me because there were people I knew, people I went to school with that I met within the mental health system.
I don't think we care about PG-13 right now.
I think you're fine. I think it's late. It's late enough in the UK. I don't think.
But that
cares.
guy.
This is not for children. You can say.
Yeah, the background. When I first started my YouTube channel, the amount all of the next things that were recommended were children's things. And I said to Chris the other day, because I wrote my dissertation on fairy tales and the anthropological significance of fairy tales and how they've been reappropriated into modern visual culture to represent specific archetypes of women. It was that kind of shit. I was like, maybe I should just start dressing up pretty and reading stories, because people don't go to libraries anymore for story time for their kids, and parents might be busy, so instead of giving story time to their kids, they could put on a video of me reading a story. And I don't know, it's an idea for a second channel. But talking about the whole BPD thing, my friend, he was actually an ex-boyfriend, which I didn't talk about in that video because he was a boyfriend for not very long.
You've had boyfriends?
I know. Sorry.
That's fine.
What can I say?
So have
I know. But the worst thing is that after he did that, and after I filmed that video, and after I posted that video, I still somehow ended up reaching out to him and saying, hey, I'm really sorry that things got misconstrued. If you ever want to talk about things that are going on with you, please, like, let me know. I'm always here to listen. And I will never block you because I'm always here to listen to you.
And this is
to help you.
Very BPD thing.
Yeah, he treated me like shit. He literally said to me, well, I can't be your friend if you've got BPD because that means you're a fucking shit human being. And yet I'm still here being like, I'm here for you, dude. And I am still friends with that guy on Facebook. I haven't blocked him because I'm like, if you ever want to reach out, reach out. And then I'm like, why? Why do I do that? Why don't I just say, do you know what? Screw you.
That's it. You're blowing up on the Twitter now.
I know, it's my Discord with those DID people.
So there we go. So, you know.
I actually...
are we a Storytime YouTuber?
I don't know what we are right now.
Is that what
we're drunken YouTubers. I think it's fine.
You're drunken YouTubers.
But my next video is about my first gay pride parade, which was like over a decade ago in San Francisco. So that's fun.
Yeah. No, you're right. Storytime YouTubers. I think the thing is, I think they're a very niche thing. They're for parents who, you know, want to have a computer raise their children.
Tana Mojo. He fucked me with a toothbrush.
Wow, I'm so close. You have no idea how loud that was. That was so loud.
This Tana turned out to be so bad. I just
Wow, I didn't know those two words had so much power. What is a Tana? How do we say that?
That's Tana Mojo. I told you to look her up earlier, and we can figure out how to
I don't even.
name.
Yeah. Now, why is it? What is a Monju?
Thank you, Mojo. Tana Mojo.
Right. Okay.
Guys
of the internet, can you educate me? Like, I don't really know what Tana Mojo is.
She's the Storytime YouTuber that was all like...
Oh, she does Storytime. Oh, is she the one who found the dead body?
Yes!
Found.
Wow.
Found.
But he wasn't dead. She saved his life.
Yeah. Found. Yeah. The air quotes are the deadly thing, aren't they, really? Because, you know, it's like, oh, look, I found a guy who, you know, I could drag to this. I'm sorry, but why were they going into the men's bathroom?
They weren't.
No,
it was it was a bathroom on the beach.
It was still men's.
And I think I'd been to that beach.
It had a man sign on it.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was a whole big stage thing.
Yeah, so stage thing. There we go.
Yes.
What's like manipulation? Yes. Things are like manipulation.
I feel like I need to get my impressions on now and try and like find more.
So but this is the joy of, you know, this is the joy of the internet. We have completely and utterly new.
I've got an impression. Who's this? I'm a bisexual woman of color. Come on, you've got to get it.
Who are these? Yeah, good luck.
It. Pretty sure they will fuck them. They'll get it. Give them time. Come on.
What? You're going to do it again? Just for, you know, if anyone blinked and missed it. No.
I'm a bisexual woman of color. See? What? You got it. Lily.
Okay, what? Again.
Lily Singh.
Who is Lily Singh?
She's a bisexual woman of color. Like,
great.
What more do you need to know?
That doesn't help me any. Oh, is that how it works? I wasn't sure that's, you know, that's how you got tested, but, you know, are you safe? Are you positive? Yes, I think that's what happened to him, unfortunately. I think it was a sad, you know, thing. He happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't think meeting Tana Mojo had any effect on him. I think he was in a state where he was already dying. The guy overdosed and died.
Oh, you're following that better than me. Yeah.
Just about.
Did he die? I wasn't sure if he died, but yeah.
I like the air quotes around comedian. I always love words that are in air quotes.
That's because she's literally like in every one of her. I haven't even watched every one of her episodes, so from what I've gathered,
just a bisexual.
She's just constantly like
person of color.
You know how white people hate that I'm a bisexual woman of color, and they think I'm gonna like destroy their world. Like it's just.
Hold up, I'm sorry. The only thing I recognize, BIPOC. I know that's a thing. You know, so is she a BIPOC then? She's a BIPOC comedian.
What I don't understand though is how so many of these like big YouTubers like
it's very necessary on YouTube to state your sexuality.
There seems but there seems to be
isn't it?
A really like interesting. I can't think what the word is right now.
No, I must state my sexuality for YouTube.
Proudticon is still standing up, so proud.
Isn't it a part of like welcome to YouTube? Please, you know, inject your personality, sexuality, gender orientation, all of these things.
I haven't done that.
Immediately.
Do I need to do a video where I do that?
In the face of.
Hi, I'm Kez, and yeah, I'm
renewed.
Like this guy once tried to sex me.
I think
with a toothbrush in the toilet in a club, and I was like, yeah.
Why are you taking a toothbrush into a club?
I don't know.
That's the dumbest thing.
I'm trying to be a story time YouTuber.
That's the dumbest thing ever to take into a club. If I'm going out to
actually,
a club,
for a girl, it might not be.
If I'm going out to a club, I am not taking a toothbrush with me.
A girl is.
Obviously, yeah, because you know.
I know she got it renewed for a second season, but to be fair to her, like apparently, like they filmed all of it, so she didn't, you know.
Yes, exactly. That's correct. You know, we're not monetized.
Hey, I don't care about being monetized.
We're not monetized anyway. I mean, I earn enough money just about. To be able to keep us alive, so Kez can YouTube.
No, I'm planning on
whatever
Patreon.
She likes.
Patreon is going to be
Kez can
my
YouTube,
way.
but whatever she likes because I earn enough to keep both of us.
Except I can't
I'm
because I'm too scared to actually talk about what I want to talk about.
No, have opinions. It's fine. It's
too
YouTube is a safe space to have opinions. So you guys will have to tell me about the vlog. Yes, that's correct. Any man who supports a disabled, you know, female person, you know, would probably be classified these days as a simp. But in reality, it's just empathy and compassion. You know, I suffer from dangerous levels of compassion, and I provide for everyone around me that I can. You know, I don't see my money as mine. I don't think money's great. You know,
the government give me the tiny amount of money a month.
Female person, sorry, no, that's taken out of context totally. It could be any person. You know, I'm very happy to support anyone around me. It doesn't matter if they're female or not. I'm not a pronouns person. I see people as people. The only people I won't support is people who have DID. That's. Because I don't understand systems.
No, but the LGBT thing is valid. It's like I filmed 2 videos for Pride Month, but only one of them really is going to be out in Pride Month because I've only just learned how to edit videos.
But it is true.
It takes me time.
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason behind the agenda that YouTube is set by. YouTube is set by an agenda which is basically the 80-20 rule. And it is very much a case of they will monetize things that hit 80% of people, which means they're normies. You know, normies, you know, you're going to get monetized because of the fact that, you know, they're concerned. You know, engineers built the platform, engineers built the system, and they said, what is it that we can do to be less offensive? Because they're worried about being offensive because they know laws get made about people who are offensive. And that's what they do is they make rules to say, you know, we want the algorithm to look after the massive the 80%. And we don't know how to define the 80%. We'll let the algorithm define what the 80% is. And unfortunately, yes, I absolutely am hippie. There is no denying that.
Are you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
Are you?
I think hipster is the current, you know, thing these days. But yeah, it's true that, you know, a lot of hippies became engineers because of the fact it was something they could do. They could continue to enjoy their, you know, their hippie lifestyle. And they did great things. They built wonderful machines and they built technology. And, you know, the idea of communicating from one, being able to send a whisper from one ear on one side of the world to another ear on the other side of the world, you know, that's how it works. Well, yeah, you know, I mean, this is the problem. You have been outed. I don't know what that means. Outed as a Mitch. You got it in your name. Just me, Mitchy. Which have you been outed as, or have I been outed as? No, I'm definitely a hippie. You know, I love is love. You know, it doesn't know anything other than the idea that you are already in love with someone. It's just sometimes you meet them. That's my opinion. I don't think gender's got anything to do with it. I think you very much, you know, you are in love with people, someone, you know. Sometimes you're in love with things, sometimes you're in love with art, sometimes you're in love with other stuff. And you don't have a choice in that. You just love what you love. And sometimes it's YouTube tea and drama and commentary, which I'm supposed to be learning about. Kez is currently taking a break due to the fact that she does suffer from chronic pain, and that means that she needs to take a very large amount of medications to help manage it.
What are you?
Me? A lot of things.
What were you saying?
I'm just reading out. I'm a hippie.
Take my meds. You're a hippie?
Yeah, I'm definitely a hippie. I am. I mean, I'm a firm believer in, you know, love is love. You know, just that's what it is. You are in love. Yes, Steve Jobs was definitely some sort of a hippie, and he converted himself into one of the most powerful men of the time. You know, firm believer in he would bend the will of the world to himself because of the fact that he thought he knew best. And to some extent, he created something that is one of the largest monsters on the planet now, because we are all slaves.
Who's
well,
Steve Jobs?
We're slaves to the apple.
That was a joke.
Because of the fact that we've made it $1 trillion
Mitchie,
$1 trillion+ company.
Mitch, you should go on Reddit. I have a lot of debates with people on Reddit.
Respectful debate, yes. Respectful debate is difficult, but the point is that if you are skilled at debating, you know when they've lost their shit, because that's when they fail to continue to debate.
As soon as they suddenly decide and say, "You're a fat bitch,"
if they're attacking, if they're attacking the person, there's a very good Pinterest pin that I shared with Kez that she might look at. I doubt it, but she might do. Which is about robots rules, which is a case of you have to state facts. So to defend your position, yes, you're right. Love, you know, there are different types of love, you know, and you know, everything can be put in boxes. I mean, realistically, we're hoping eventually to get to this state of love where it's a universal thing, that we don't judge and we don't, you know, hate people. But Welsh again, eh? A lot of these Welsh people move to America. You know, is that your thing, Mitch? Is that you like the idea of, you know, people are Welsh, move to, you know? I actually have some friends who are Welsh. And can speak the language, which is terrifying to me. I do. Well, I have at least a friend who can speak Welsh.
You have a friend?
I don't. Shocks on both fronts. But,
really? You have a friend?
Yes. The Queen is German descended. She's not actually German. You know, that's like, we're all something else.
Schmetterling.
Except Americans. Americans are always half something else.
They really are. Have you ever
Yeah.
noticed that with Americans? It's like, I'm African American, I'm
Interestingly,
Irish American, I'm
the
Native
American
American,
word is always
I'm
second,
Australian American.
but the American word is always second. Interestingly,
Sydney Watson made that point on her
Yeah.
Twitter. I love that woman.
the Queen is also a clone.
She's awesome.
Yeah,
The future king.
Yeah, the future king is definitely.
Who's the future king?
England.
Harry.
No, they're going to invade. Like, they've got the numbers. They'll come and get us. But yes, I mean, this is the fun, is that, you know, we can say what we like about the monarchy in the UK. You know, the Queen is definitely a robot.
It's a tourism thing.
And a clone. It is, in fact, more than a tourism thing. It is a weapons thing.
Well, yeah.
It is a military contracts thing. It is, we have the monarchy, so they can go to our allies and sell them nice, interesting new fighter jets.
Then, in that case, the king should be Harry, because Harry's a dude. I need to lean on you, because my
That's
back
fine.
hurts.
This is some language that you might understand better than me. Brethren, just Guam in lads, in it. Yeah? Have I pronounced that right?
I don't want to even try and pronounce that.
I'm just like, I don't know. In
Essex legit,
with brethren.
When I was at Brit school, like I lived in Brixton, right? And people at Brit would be like, and then I'd try and do it, and I'd just be like, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that thing. I'd be like, yeah. Awesome. So and just be like, what? Why do I try? It's not good.
A bit less English.
William.
It's he might be the future king. But interestingly, though, because of the way the monarchy work, he will not be King William. Because they changed their name. Yes, the Queen is a lizard.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's...
Alizé, I think, is writing a book on that, actually.
I don't even know who that person is.
Yeah, you do.
Probably not.
You do.
You say I do, but I don't.
You don't like her.
But
you don't like anyone.
I don't like most of the tea people.
She's got the red lipstick, and she's proper British.
That really helps.
And Piers Morgan... And a vegetarian sausage roll, vegan sausage roll.
She managed to make a small amount of money from publishing an ebook, and now Piers Morgan has her on a hit list.
Yeah.
Because
that's Alizé.
Piers Morgan is another easy victim because of the fact that, you know, he has strong opinions. They're not always right. Sometimes they're moronic. And yeah.
I think what you said earlier
the Queen
was
is absolutely a lizard, but then the metaphor for lizard is to do with the lizard brain of the 4 Fs.
I'm just saying, if it's anything like V, I'd happily be a lizard.
Yeah,
if I could be like them in V.
Yeah. I mean, the number of conspiracies there are about the Queen is awesome. You love Piers, but hate him. Yeah, it's funny how some people can have that reaction to a person. You know, I personally have met Bojo. He was a clown when I met him.
I thought that was his charm.
But it is very much a personality that he puts on. And I think the difficulty is when, you know, you have the rule of your country, our English Prime Minister is pretending to be a clown. You know, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah,
no, I don't think the UK will ever remove.
You are way too slow on reading and responding.
No, I'm absolutely not. I'm well up on it. No, we're not going to become a republic over here. We've kind of seen how it works out for America, and we're thinking like, yeah, maybe that's not quite the way to go.
Do you think Trump's going to get re-elected?
Bojo definitely is. The lads.
Come on.
You know, yeah, she was a writer. No, she wrote.
Alizé was that writer. Yes, she was.
She wrote something.
I like Alizé. I've not watched her for ages,
you know,
but
I think
that's the only way he knows who she is.
She's trashing a British staple of mass-produced food. You know, Greg's the Bakers is the place that you go as a worker to go and get your grub. You know, you go and you get your sausage roll. You do not get a vegan sausage roll.
No. Only a specific...
No one gets a vegan sausage roll. You go to Greg's and you get your sausage roll.
No one that cares about the way they look goes to Greg. Period.
No, but workers generally don't. No, but workers generally don't care about how they work. They're just, what they want to do is they want to pick up some grub. They want to get to site. They want to give them their CSCS card. They want to get in there, start doing the job, and then.
Do you think Greg's will ever actually announce a sponsorship with Bob the Builder?
I hope so.
They should.
Bob the Builder, absolute dude.
Like Alizé.
He's an inspirational guy.
Alizé did that. I can't remember what else I wanted to say about her now, but she did that. But I think it's kind of fun. That,
it's absolutely common.
She took the piss out of it.
No, I mean, Greg's is absolutely common. You know, there's nothing about it that's not common. Which is a stolen joke.
Yeah, what's a stolen joke?
She wrote a book about it. Yeah.
Oh, Boris.
Boris
has always been a clown.
He is. I mean, when I met him, he pretended that he didn't work out how to use a tablet device for a computer, to which
he went to. Was it Boris's? Was he living there when you went to
I've also been to number 10 Downing Street. It's really nice. I went there for my birthday. So, you know, I'm one of the rare few who has managed to get drunk on my birthday thanks to the taxpayer. Just a random, factoid of my life. Yes, big up the working class madmen. I used to be a working class. I used to, carry...
You are working class, aren't you? You were.
No, I'm blue collar now. Or white collar. I don't want.
I thought blue collar was like plumbing.
Yeah, I used to do plumbing. I've done that.
Did you?
Yeah, I've put a tap on a school before. Not like, in some dodgy way. An actual water faucet. Don't put, no. That's not a thing that you can joke about. Legitimately, I'm proud of myself because of the fact that I have plumbing skills. And, I've also made trusses for buildings before. But yeah, the working class are great. Like, they should pay less tax. They should get more support. And, they should
We
be
should
looked
get
after.
more support. God damn it.
Yeah, but the working class, I am the working class. You're not.
I'm not allowed to work.
No.
I can't keep a job.
Yes. Just send Kez your details via some sort of encrypted message channel thing, and she will come and check your water meter. Yeah, I can absolutely check your water meter. I can't do anything about it.
No.
It's just literally a.
And he worked, but I can do that.
Yeah, I can still come around and have a look.
There was genuinely something that I wanted to say before I went outside, but I don't know where we're at.
Yeah, turn off the stopcock, definitely. Damn, I am awesome. Thank you. Yeah, well,
Mitchie!
If you do, you need to do it via some sort of private mechanism. Don't stick it in the chat here. You know who Kez is. She's Kez and Unicorns everywhere. Same in all of it. She's Kez and Unicorns on the Instagram and.
I'm actually.
And, what other platforms are you on?
I don't know.
On the YouTube, Twitter. That's the one. Yeah, on the Twitter.
Instagram. I've not posted on there since quarantine because I can't stand looking at pictures of myself because I'm like, wow, that's a fat bitch right there. But I'm sure I'll post on there again soon.
That's another symptom of a control condition. Just gotta top up the wine. But yeah. So this is the
Is that me you found on Facebook?
Brave New World. Well, there you go. Send her a friend request and then you'll find out.
I don't. I don't really post much on my Facebook anymore because people just piss me off.
She's very easy to find. She's a public commodity. it's not hard to find her.
Finding my real name is the challenge.
No, it's
my
not.
Birth name.
Even finding your birth name, no.
My real name is, my legal name is Kez.
Yes. But, you know, we want to create a nice little lovely community with people. Some people who you know, do stream live on YouTube for no particularly good reason, and try and talk about tea, even though I have no idea. I can't talk tea. You know, I can tell you about all the things I've built and made.
No, the true question is, what is tea and what is not tea? When does tea cross a line? That's the point I'm trying to get at.
Tea crosses a line when you put the rancid milk in. That's if you smell that milk and it's like you don't like that milk, and you put it in your tea. If it comes out clumpy, that's not tea. That is gross. But that's how it works.
That's my profile picture. Can they see it?
No.
No.
Yeah. She is Ms. Kez and Unicorns. No, you really are getting that wrong.
Can't see it.
You
Can't
need to turn the brightness massively down on
you
your phone.
need to do that.
Yeah.
Join me as we dive into the birth and rising of famous BPD. That's the hope, Mitch.
Enter the world of... But
I'm never going to be famous. It's okay.
We don't want to glamorize...
I dealt with it.
The BPD. That's closer.
That's
quite
closer.
Right.
No, you're still wrong.
It's
too bright. My luminescence is too much.
No.
See?
It's too bright. You are too
bright. I am too bright.
You're too bright, too radiant. Anyway. But yeah, Kez and Unicorns, definitely.
It's Miss, though. Miss.
It's Miss. Not for long.
Kez.
I'm gonna fix that. You know, with my patriarchy and toxic monogamy. Toxic monogamy.
Misogyny?
No, not misogyny. I'm not misogynist.
Are you sure?
I am sure. But yeah, toxic monogamy. No.
Kawaii.
What are you doing now?
I don't know.
No one knows.
It just came up.
But
deal with it.
Yeah. So there we go. Yes. We hope that, you know, it's not going to be because of BPD. In fact, it's going to be about education. Education.
We're already engaged.
I think it's engagement of a different kind.
But
yes, it's education of those in mental health conditions. We both basically suffer from the opposites of, you know, yeah.
We have to stop in a second because our battery's about to die.
This is true. Right.
Yes, Rahul, that is absolutely true. We're going to have to go, guys.
We've run out of battery power.
Yeah.
Bye all. Thank you for joining us.
Who knows? Maybe we'll come back in a couple of hours.
We may be back for crazy late night wine rants.
We're still drinking, so it could happen.
Anything can happen.
Thank you for joining us. No, don't say that. We'll be back, I'm sure.
If only we had a splitter for the USB-C connector, which we
don't
have. No.
We could switch to the webcam.
Can we? Can you do it live in the stream?
I don't know. Hang on, guys.
I'm going to try and do some technology.
Try it. Hang on. Oh no, hang on.